Welcome in, boys and girls, to the QB List Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm your host and lead analyst, Jay Felicio. Here with me is a very handsome man, and not just Jorge, Mr. Brett Ford, who was also nice enough to send me a little, just not one, but I got a couple back there. Camp's got to be cord. But Brett Ford of QB List as well. How are you doing tonight, Brett?
I'm doing well, man. It was, I'd rather send those to you than throw them in the garbage. So I figured, they'd make better decoration than firewood. So
Well, that's fine. That's fine. I still have to send you some Ravens cards, but maybe I'll just throw them in the trash anyways. But joining us tonight is a great friend, and dare I say, more family than friend. You can find his stuff over at Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life. He's been with Yahoo. I mean, Jorge, what haven't you done, honestly?
Oh goodness. I don't know. I haven't done NBA, so that NBA,
Yet.
but NFL and MLB. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with NFL and MLB. So that's good. I'll keep those on my resume.
Yeah, you poor Dodgers fan. If they would just spend some money.
You know, they spent a little today. You know, they got Kike Hernandez for only $4.5 million, so they spent up for that. So
Hey,
he might be competing with Kyle Tucker for right field, pretty soon. So.
Hey, I can't say anything as a Yankees fan in the mid-90s, so they're playing by the rules as much as they don't like it. But
they were the blueprint.
We're here to talk about some fantasy football. Going to do our second way too early mock draft. This is our first after the Super Bowl. Our QB List staffers did one a couple weeks ago in the middle of the playoffs, and I wrote about it. It is up at QBlist.com as well as my way too early top 200. But since then, Sleeper has added rookies into their pool. So we decided, you know what, after the Super Bowl, let's jump in and let's get another one going. So the format is, let me pull that up, 1 QB, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 1 flex. And we're just going to do 3 bench spots to give you some flexibility, but we're going to try to wrap this up in about an hour. So we don't want to take too long. We're going to have a 1-minute clock, and we do have some QB listers in there. We've got some friends of the show in as well. Jeff Blaylock from Football Guys, Shane. We've got Kyle's Not the Pits, a.k.a. my tag team partner, Ladarius Brown. Eddie McPigskin, who's a good dude, a proponent of the hobby. Just a guy that makes Twitter/X a better place. But Jorge, can you tell the people where they can find you and what you're currently working on?
Well, currently I'm recovering from the NFL season and the playoffs. So I'm a staff editor over at Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life. Been there for about a little more than a year and a half now, and loving it. Today we just published we're publishing content year round, and NFL centric content all year round. We just put to bed our NFL Draft magazine, which should be hitting the newsstands. Hoping they'll be hitting the newsstands right around the start of the combine in a few weeks. If not, it'll be shortly thereafter. And then right after that, it's going to be working on Fantasy Life Fantasy Magazine. All the while we're putting out, award-winning content every day, and our newsletter, which goes out to 400,000 people every day. It's just, it's awesome. I'm just about to sign off on it when we're, and get it scheduled for tomorrow. So it comes out 365 days a year. So enjoy. And quite honestly, anytime I get to spend a little time with mi hermano Jay Felicio, vámonos, let's do it.
Let's roll. And Brett, what are you working on right now before we jump in and start this draft?
Yeah, absolutely. QB List season is wrapped up, so I have switched back to the maiden mothership, I guess, Pitcher List. I'm working with Scott Chu on the Hacks and Jacks podcast. That's publishing on Mondays in the preseason, talking about Scott's top 300 hitters list for the MLB season. A lot of good stuff there. Scott's a brilliant hitting analyst. We do a lot of fun things on the pod. That'll be publishing probably Wednesdays in season. So it kind of aligns with Scott's release of the updated list every week. But that's what where I'm at with pitcher lists so far this I guess we can call it spring, this winter, this spring, as we lead into baseball season. So a lot of exciting things coming.
Okay, can I ask a question? Can you give me a sleeper pitcher in the National League? I got a National League only fantasy league that is ultra competitive. I need a couple sleepers.
Sleeper pitcher in the National League. I had one ready for the American League just because Nick dropped it a couple weeks ago. But as far as National League goes, gosh, Hurston Waldrop is the first name that comes to mind, but I don't think in a National League only league he's going to be a sleeper. I know in a lot of my 12-team mixed, he's a late target for me in drafts just because of what he did at the end of last season. But like I said, NL onlys, that's a little bit out of my depth. I don't know if I go that deep into my analysis, at least this early in the offseason.
Yeah, I know it is early. I know I was one of the ones I'm looking at is Chad Patrick, but I don't know how much of a sleeper he'll be. But
Jorge, we have a fantastic team over at pitcherlist.com. You can go check out. You will find all the sleepers you need for your NL only league, which we've talked about quite a few times, and it makes me miss my ALNL two-sided league, but that's been a long time. But, gentlemen, let's go ahead and, Brett, if you don't mind pulling up the draft board, we'll go ahead and get this baby started. I appreciate everybody waiting on us, and look at those handsome fellas. There we go. All right, we're going to start. We're going to have a 1-minute clock. I'm going to try to not force anybody's pick. But if it takes just a little too long, I might have to. Here we go. And Brett, you're up number 2. Bijan, that's my easy one overall. Jorge, how do you feel about that as the first pick off the board?
I honestly feel like there's going to be no question about it, about him between now and the beginning of the year, and I mean draft time, because this guy got 2,000 yards last year and just was fantastic all season. And plus they might be losing Tyler Algier. So all of a sudden, maybe another 2-3 touches every game. Gosh, and he gets everything. He just gets everything. He's young. He's spectacular. He burned me in an impossible comeback on Monday Night Football in week 17. So where I had Derrick Henry blow up on Saturday.
Oh, that's even worse.
Impossible dream comeback. Lost on the Puka. Yeah, they had Matthew Stafford, Puka Nacua, and Bijan on Monday Night Football, and a Puka Nacua touchdown with 3 minutes left is what did me in. So that's all right. I'm a Ram fan, so that. And I had Puka on a few other teams, but still,
that's what's bittersweet about fantasy sports sometimes. But I've not had to worry about that for a long time because the Giants have been terrible for almost 2 decades, so I haven't had to worry about that. But I know you have, and Brett, you have as well. And I see you went with Jahmyr Gibbs at 2. He's honestly the only guy I could maybe consider going over Bijan, but I'm a Bijan guy through and through. Brett, if let's say both guys were on the board there, would there be any hesitation to go with Bijan?
No, it's a hard number 1, number 2 for me with Bijan at the top rank. Just losing Algier and gaining Kevin Stefanski in his corner. I'm really bullish on Bijan this year, and we saw what he did in the passing game last year. I think that that role has room for expansion, believe it or not, in Stefanski's offense. I know we didn't really see it a ton in Cleveland, especially the past couple years. But I truly think that Bijan could be even more unlocked than he already has been under this new coaching staff.
Yeah, and we did start to see finally at the end, right before he got hurt at the end of the season, they started to get Quinshon Judkins a little more involved in the passing game, and then unfortunately went down. But yeah, I'm with you. And the other thing too is what really only thing that capped Bijan's ceiling this year, as bad as the quarterback situation was, Algier stealing all those touchdowns. So he winds up moving on, which looks like that's going to be the case. He looks like he wants to be a starter. Let me see if it'll let me reset this for Steve. Pause, resume. All right. We'll give him just a few minutes, and otherwise I'll go with the top. Even if they wind up drafting somebody. I highly doubt they're gonna, or even signing somebody to carry the load to share the load with Bijan. It's not. I doubt he's gonna have the type of impact that Algier has. Let's see. I am gonna go ahead. I'll just do the. Here we go. Steve, I'll give you about 30 seconds. There we go. You the man.
Thank you, Coach Steve.
It's a good dude. Let's see. Let's go to the Rams fan. Would you be taking Puka Nacua or Jamar Chase, even after the seasons that they both just had?
It's hard to. I probably would, partly because of the Ram fan, but also he gets some rushing attempts that Jamar Chase does not get. And gosh, I mean, some of those blow up games were just spectacular. I mean, I know Jamar Chase has blow up games too, but it's tough because I could also talk myself into Jamar Chase because that Cincinnati defense is not going to be good. Again, it's not going to go from it's not going to go from where they were to Seattle Seahawks last Sunday.
Right.
So that's even if they get to the 20th best defense, they're still going to be throwing a lot to Jamar Chase.
Brett, I'm going to let you take over for a few minutes so I can actually look at who's available since I'm about to pick.
Yeah, you're going to.
You can't host and draft at the same time?
I cannot. I haven't looked yet. No, I'm not as talented as you, my friend. What? Let's see.
Well, I've got it on my separate device here, so that's the only way.
I did the same too, so don't worry about it.
Well, I see that you're on the clock now, and there's got to be a tempting name for you as a Giants fan there at the 1-2 turn. Are you debating going wide receiver here? Or are you thinking about sticking with running back? I know you're kind of a hero RB guy.
I'm a hero RB guy, and there's two available right now that I could not pass up for a wide receiver, and I'm gonna have to go with Jonathan Taylor here. It's just it's too easy of a pick. It's and yeah, if we'd gotten some better news on Malik Neighbors' offseason progress from his injury recovery, might be some temptation. Well, that, and if we would have actually got Todd Monken as our offensive coordinator instead of Matt Nagy, I would be a little more bullish on the passing game. But I'm starting to get a little concerned that Neighbors might not be ready for week 1. I think he'll be fine by the end of the season, and it could offer a chance to get him at a discount if people are freaking out. But I'm just, there's no way. And the other one I'm sure is pretty obviously. Did I say James Cook already? James Cook, I can't pass either one of those guys up for a wide receiver. But Jorge, you sure can. You can go right ahead.
Well, I'm going Saquon with one because I still think he's got some juice left in that lemon. So I think he'll be fine. And, oh, man, I'm tempted to go running back. And then that seemed to work out for me well a lot at certain points last year. But oh, goodness. But you know what? It's really hard to pass up Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I'm going to go St. Brown. Yeah. Well, you took Jonathan Taylor from me. So.
Well, I normally wouldn't do this, but there's a lot of names still available at wide receiver. And I feel like there's a huge drop-off after Amon-Ra. So I'm going to go with Taylor and Cook here. Especially in one reason I'm comfortable doing that here is these settings, we're only starting 2 wide receivers. If we were starting 3 wide receivers, I don't think I would make that move. But that would shake up the board a little more.
When you took Taylor at 11 there, like getting Taylor at the back of the first round, you talk about guys who could be the number 1 running back. This is a guy who was the number 1 running back until about week, 14, 15. And then Daniel Jones' injury kind of derailed the season for the Colts. But I mean, if the Colts are going to be
3 touchdown games, something along those lines. If
the Colts are going to be good again, like Jonathan Taylor's stats in wins versus his stats in losses it's such a crazy discrepancy. The Colts are one of those teams that are so game script reliant that if you believe in the Colts this year, you should be believing in Jonathan Taylor. If the Colts win 10 games, he's going to rush for 2,000 yards.
He was probably on his way. He's probably on his way to doing that, or get in the 1,800 to 2,000 range, because it's so. I mean, he was having such a great season. I had him a lot. He was my most drafted running back last year, and took me to the playoffs a lot, but then it was only okay in the playoffs because they just put 8-man in a box and said, we're stopping him.
And Steichen, I mean, he passes to get ahead and then runs to win. Like when they're ahead in the game, they are like their run rate over expectation or pass rate over expectation is one of the lowest in the league when they're ahead or in a run positive game script. So he's definitely a guy that if Daniel Jones come back healthy, I'm very interested in, especially in the back of the first round.
Yeah, if there was no way he was getting past me on that one. Interesting. Go ahead. I was going to say interesting. Jeremiah Love with our amigo Shane.
Well, he called himself out too in the chat. He said, "I'm going to go fanboy here." I think.
There you go.
You know what? Sometimes you just got to have fun with it. But
I love it.
What do you guys think of that pick?
I'll be honest, I don't know enough about the incoming rookie class yet to really make a fair judgment on it. I know he's obviously the top running back pick in the class and could be that kind of transcendent talent like a Bijan. But truly time will tell for me.
I am on the night of the first round. I'm going to light a candle that he ends up going to the Chiefs. That would be so fun. That would be kind of like 5 years after, when they took Clyde Edwards-Helaire instead of Jonathan Taylor. So I wonder if they would have had at least one more Super Bowl if they would have had Jonathan Taylor during that time.
Could you imagine?
Yeah.
And that's the tough thing with it's too early to judge. That's why we call it way too early, because it really depends on landing spot. If he does wind up in the Chiefs, I don't know if he makes it that far. So it's tough to say. And we do already have a tight end off the board at 2-7, Brock Bowers. Personally, I can't take a tight end in the first 4 or 5 rounds. If Bowers or Trey McBride were to go with the 4th, which will never happen, I might. But it's too much value at the other positions for me. Brett, I see you shaking your head. It sounds like you're on the same train as I am.
No, I was shaking my head at Steve Pintado's pick at the 2-9 there. I'm
so
very upset about that.
We will put a pin in the Brock Bowers talk. Let's go over to Omarion Hampton, who has some guy named Mike McDaniel now as his offensive coordinator. And what do you think about that, Brett? Are you excited as everybody else?
I am so ready to hop on the O train. Omarion Hampton.
This is a family show.
With Omarion Hampton with Mike McDaniel calling the plays in Los Angeles is going to be a lot of fun. Under McDaniel, the Dolphins improved. In 4 years under McDaniel, they averaged just about 2,000 rushing yards, over 390 yards improvement from their 2021 season, averaged over an additional yard per carry with McDaniel as opposed to before him. We've seen the meteoric rise of Devon Achane under McDaniel. I'm very, very excited at the way that this run game is going to trend. I feel like people give him kind of that surface level thinking is that he's going to accelerate the pass game, make everything quick timing routes, and really bring out the best in the receivers there. But it's the running backs that are going to get the lion's share of the love from Mike McDaniel's offense.
Jorge, is there any other Chargers player that you feel is a big impact from this, or pretty much just Omarion Hampton?
I think it's Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert's going to get a big boost, but I totally agree. I mean, think about it. I want to just echo on what Brett just said. Omarion Hampton was widely believed the number 2 running back in last year's loaded class, and I know he had some injuries, but think about what Mike McDaniel did with Raheem Mostert. At 30, I think he was 31 at the time. And
it might have been older than that. It might have been 32.
Yeah. And
I think it was his age 32 season that was 2023.
Yeah. And he led the NFL in touchdowns. And that was still with Devon Achane kind of, having his mini breakout. I know he missed some time in those games. But yeah, can you imagine doing that? And he's going to get the healthy offensive line back. I'm really wheels up on the Chargers this year, not just because they're my AFC team. My AFC LA team.
There you go. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you. It's I couldn't be more excited. And honestly, if Hampton wouldn't have got hurt, he would have been in the running for the RB1 overall, the way he was looking, honestly. And it's I think Najee Harris is a free agent, although there's some rumors he'll probably come back. He's not a threat whatsoever. Ooh, nice turn we got here. Garrett Wilson and Bucky Irving. Now, there was some concern with Bucky Irving as he finished, dead last in yards after contact. Let me pull up what I was looking at for him. There was some other stuff. Watching him, he looked like Bucky Irving of last year, but then you go and you look at the metrics and they're a little concerning. Jorge, are you ready to give him a mulligan from last year after dealing with that long-term injury and then coming back at the end of the season? Or how do you view Bucky Irving? Is he still a RB1 for you?
I was kind of I don't like little running backs. But even though James Cook and Irving had his run and Achane was really good, I kind of wanted to see him do it again and having him deal with injuries, but there is the other side of the coin where Zach Robinson is coming over there, and he just helped Bijan Robinson to a 2,000 yard season. So a 2,000 total yard season. So it's hard to not, and plus they're losing Rashad White. So things could really be pointing in the direction of him having a big season.
Absolutely. And the one thing that I got a positive and a negative for Bucky Irving here is Zach Taylor was just talking about that he sees Bucky Irving as the same type of talent as Bijan and using him more in the passing game, which obviously helps with Rashad White heading out of town. But Sean Taylor. What's his name? I'm drawing a blank here.
Zach Robinson?
No, I said Zach Taylor. The running back that's still there for the Buccaneers that took the goal line work.
Oh, Sean Tucker.
I don't know why I have Taylor stuck in my head. They gave Sean Tucker all that goal line work at the end of the season, and he's not going anywhere. So coming over from Atlanta, could it be what was that?
No, that's an auto pick, Jay. I don't know
Okay,
who.
Hold on, Steve. Don't. Pick. So I go ahead and put that back. Could it be a situation, coming over from Atlanta? Could we see Tucker be the Algier to Irving's Bijan? Which, don't get me wrong, I think anybody with Bijan with Bucky would be more than happy to get a Bijan type season. But still, I don't think this offense is going to be quite the same. Let me set this pick. I'll just go with the top available flex player. Oh, you know what the problem is I forgot that their ADP is messed up. So I will go with flex and then the highest points. I guess Rashee Rice isn't. Oh, he's already got 2 wide receivers. So I'll go with top running back here. I'll go with Derrick Henry.
There you go.
Which would make sense in this situation.
I dislike that.
I'm sure you do.
I know I already have 2 running backs, but man, I was really hoping. I've seen in early drafts, kind of the hate go too far on Derrick Henry where he'll fall to the 4th round. But man, that offense with Declan Doyle running the show, coming from that Ben Johnson tree. I'm really excited for Derrick Henry, especially. I think the run game in Baltimore is going to improve significantly from last year. And they were already really good.
And I'm normally I'm the type of guy I like to get out a year early versus a year too late on running backs, and I'm the idiot that has faded Derrick Henry for like the past 3-4 years. And then this year, I just bit the bullet. I said until Derrick Henry decides he's done, I'm not fading the man any longer. I've learned from my mistakes. He's just one of those special talents, and Jorge, I can see that happening with Saquon this year, where you took him. There's just some guys that are truly generational talent gets thrown around so much, but those guys are truly generational talent. So I have no hesitation drafting Derrick Henry this season. Or where would you be comfortable taking Henry? Would you be willing to take him in the second if the chips fell that way and you needed a running back?
Absolutely. I think he's got another 1,500-yard season in him. I mean, the way they're set up, they're not going to spend they're going to spend money on the offensive line, maybe a wide receiver, and maybe work, get some more bodies on the defense. They're not going to spend any money or draft capital on running back. The guy takes care of himself better, as well as anybody. And some guys are just ageless. If you want to have some fun looking at an ageless guy, go look at Walter Payton's Pro Football Reference page. The guy was 34. I think he was 34 years old and still having a dominant season. So there are some guys that are unicorns like that. And if anybody's going to be a unicorn, an alien, something like that, why not a 250-pound, 6'3" guy like, that you just don't see, running that fast as Derrick Henry is. So yeah, I'm taking him. I had him. God, I had him and Chase Brown on a team that unfortunately that team didn't make the playoffs. Which if I would have made
the way that they both started,
right?
Chase Brown especially, but Henry was average. It wasn't Derrick Henry that what did he score 4 touchdowns? Was it 3 or 4?
4, 200 yards and 4 touchdowns, 50. Gosh. In one league, I think in my league it was like 53 points. It was just sick because we had bonuses and everything. Oh, we're almost on the clock, or you're on the clock, and I'm right behind you.
I'm on the clock, and I think with the way things are right now.
Oh, you don't know what to do because Ken Walker's off the board.
I know. Hey,
you were going to go 3 running backs.
I would have thought about it. I'm really tempted to go Rashee Rice here, but I just don't know.
I worry about the discipline coming from the NFL, just with all the stuff that's going on off the field. I'm concerned for his well-being and as well as his playing time.
We had some more information that would be the no-brainer, but I'm going to go with a guy who people are hating on way too much. If you tell me this time last year I could get A.J. Brown in the 3rd round, whether he's on the Eagles, whether he's on another team, starting running back, I'd be ecstatic to have him as my wide receiver 1. And he still finished, I think, in a points per game basis, wide receiver 12, something along those lines. He looked that up.
I think just the way that this draft is playing out is a testament to the depth at wide receiver. Like you're talking about A.J. Brown at the end of the 3rd. There's so much depth at wide receiver this year. Like the cliff for wide receiver seems so much further back than it was this time last year, which is part of the reason why I decided to go running back, tight end, even though this is PPR format. I think that there's just so much depth. There's so many fun names at wide receiver that I think you can get away with waiting, at least at this point of the offseason. I think the clear strategy is to wait there.
Jorge, you make me feel bad about my decision now after you take them right after me.
It's, I just kind of looked at the wide receiver, the wide receivers. I was kind of hoping A.J. Brown was going to fall to me because I really agree with you. There's too much hate on him right now. And I think he's still got some elite years left in him, at least one more. It's, maybe Sean Mannion pulls it out of him, or, he gets traded somewhere where he's going to get 150 targets. So I think that's one thing. And this one, this pick, Jay, is a tough one, but you know what? I'm going to have some fun because
I legit, even though I had 2, I'm like, right here, and I'm with you. If A.J. Brown wasn't there, I would have taken a shot on Rashee Rice because there's a big drop off after those 2 guys. And I mean, there's some names that I like here, but they've all got warts. I honestly probably would have went Scatterboo here.
Yeah, I was looking at tight end or even breaking the seal on quarterback, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna go with I I may be going a late round QB approach.
Since I've got some consistency with my wide receiver 1, I'll take some high upside inconsistency with my wide receiver 2. So resident Ravens fan, Mr. Brett Ford, how do you feel about Zay Flowers next season?
I was a lot more excited about Zay Flowers this time last year than I was this time this year. I just think that I know touchdown variance is a thing. I know that in PPR formats, he will hold value better than standard leagues. But at some point, we as fantasy football managers have to understand that maybe this is who he is. Like maybe he's Khalil Shakir wearing purple. A guy that has a really good relationship with his quarterback, is going to catch a lot of passes, but is going to be overlooked in the red zone.
I will never give up on Laviska Shenault, no matter what you say.
He's got a fat head. Jay's got a fat head somewhere.
I actually, Jorge, you don't know this, Brett, you do, because we talk about cards. I've decided that I officially collect Laviska Shenault cards, so I'm building a Laviska Shenault collection. I've got 3. I got a couple on the way. It's, you know what? I can get the really cool cards for dirt cheap. So it's
hard to do because there's only Laviska Shenault cards for like 2020 and 2021, and then 2022 he was like pretty much out of the league. So I don't think they made cards for
a couple Panthers. Maybe I should say Laviska Shenault rookie cards, because then I can
actually
run on those. But
are you ready?
Good.
Are you ready to get his UFL card? So
Jorge, my friend, I thought actually, yes, I would. That would be it. But yeah, I looked at all of these guys: the McConkey, JMO, Waddle, Higgins. Honestly, there's a wide receiver that hasn't been drafted that I'm not going to name yet until he is, that I would have considered probably over all of these guys.
And if it's who I think it is, I'm taking him if he gets to me.
I'm not going to say any names, but would you guys have taken any of the wide receivers that went after Flowers before him? I know they're all close. So is there any that like really stand out as, wow, Jay, you blew it by not taking X over Zay Flowers?
I think the one for me would be T. Higgins. I think that Higgins is. I mean, frankly, I think that Higgins has a better quarterback and a worse defense. So I think that the Bengals will be in pass-heavy game scripts more often, and I want pieces of that passing game if I can get them. So T. Higgins is the only one of that group that I would really have a tier above Flowers.
I can see that.
One guy who I think is way too low on the ADP is Devontae Adams. I consider that just because I still think he's got an elite year left in him, and everything's coming back on the Rams to, all he needs is health. As long as, which is a question mark because he does have a history of hamstring injuries. And my other hermano, Dr. Edwin Porras, loves to point out that, injury history is the greatest predictor of future injuries. So, but again, it's hard to 14 touchdowns where he missed 4 games. So
he was the world's first goal line wide receiver.
Yeah.
It was phenomenal. And I'm with you. It's tough, especially when it's a soft tissue injury like that with the older guys that, continue to linger and happen. It's I'm with you, but I would probably would have considered him at 4-2 if I thought of him, honestly. But I just I wanted the little, based on the way that my team is built, I wanted some upside with Zay Flowers.
Harold Fannin fan.
Sorry. Oh yeah, Fannin goes. I was actually going to talk about tight ends as well. So that is a curious case there.
All right.
I'm actually frustrated that I took McBride so early with how few tight ends are off the board now that it's back to me. Because
that's why I just personally can't go tight end that early, because there's always one there. Oh, okay, that's not who I was talking about. But so yeah, let's talk about that. So you're a Luther Burden guy, it sounds like.
I am very much in on Luther Burden. I think it's going to be a problem because I'm very much in on Colston Loveland in that offense too. He's the guy who, if I hadn't taken McBride here, like if I had gone Olave or maybe like Tet McMillan, AJ Brown in the third, that I would definitely take here in the fourth is Colston Loveland. But to get Burden here, I want pieces of this Bears offense. I think it's explosive. I think it's exciting. And the way that Burden burst onto the scene at the end of the season, like he was wide receiver 1 in Chicago for probably the final 4 games of the regular season. Disappeared a little bit in the playoffs, but I'm super pumped about him, especially if the Bears find a way to get rid of DJ Moore. I think that, frankly, Luther Burden's the best wide receiver on the roster. I think that his skill exceeds Romeo Dunze, and I think we'll see that next season.
Oh, still got. Go ahead, Jay.
No, you.
I was going to say I still have a candle for Roma Dunze, but man, the Luther Burden was fantastic, and agreed on the DJ Moore. If DJ Moore finds a new home,
I have a feeling he does. I think there's enough smoke there that something's going to happen.
Yeah.
I may need you to pause the clock here. I'm struggling.
Absolutely.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. That's why we do it. That's why I will pause it here. And I do have a question for you once you pick, but let me, whenever you're ready, just go ahead and make your pick. Jorge, how do you feel about these tight ends that are going off the board? Bowers in the second round, McBride in the third, Hannon in the fourth. What's your general approach with tight ends? Do you mind spending that kind of draft capital on them, or do you like to wait?
You know what? I can't. It's tough going tight end that early because I feel like I'm passing up on a running back or receiver that's elite at that point. That is really tough. Like I would have a tough time picking Bowers over George Pickens after the year George Pickens and over after Omarion Hampton. I can see the logic, where
the big advantage when you get that guy.
Yeah.
The problem is it feels like we're always chasing the dragon every year, trying to find that guy. It's not like when we had Gronk every year where he was the easy, going to be the tight end one, where we had a healthy Kelsey. What was that?
You don't think that McBride can be Gronk? Like, I think he's well on his way. Like, McBride finished as wide receiver 5 if he was a wide receiver. He finished as wide receiver 5 after 2025. Like, that's... If
you told me that Jacoby Brissett was going to be his quarterback for the entire year, then yes. But what's going to happen with Murray? What's going to happen with Brissett? Do they draft somebody? Right now, there's just too much uncertainty because we saw with Kyler Murray, I mean, he was still top 3, top 5, but not getting those targets in the red zone just capped that. And I mean, Brissett just absolutely hyper targeted him. Do you have a pick, by the way?
Yes, I do. Sorry.
It's okay. Can you do it, or do you need me to do it?
I don't know.
Here,
I'm locked
draft.
out at the moment. I cannot
Go
draft.
ahead.
Now I can. There we go.
Ooh, RJ Harvey. All right. Now, I have actually 2 questions for you back to back, Brett. The first one is, you love Colston. You love Luther. You and I had many, many discussions preseason, during the season, after season about Caleb Williams. So what's your take? Are you in on Caleb Williams? Are you still, we both, throughout the whole year, basically, I was very high on Caleb Williams coming in. You were uncertain.
I was out preseason.
But even through halfway through 3/4 of the season, both you and I were like, we don't know who's right. Because there was, such a wide variance of performances. Where are you at on Caleb Williams going in? It seems like you're in on, but I want to see what you have to say.
He has won me over. Really, the second half of last season won me over, at least from a fantasy standpoint. I'm not sure how I feel about him as a real life quarterback. But from a fantasy standpoint, man, I'm in on Williams. I'm in on the Bears. I think that he has a little bit of Mahomes in him, like just that weird, like there's no way he's going to make this play. And then he makes the play. Like he's got a little bit of that Mahomes magic. I'm not going to say the talent is at that transcendent level yet. But I believe in what Ben Johnson's building. I believe in what Caleb Williams did over the second half, those flashes of brilliance, I think, will be more frequent in 2026.
I'm with you, and I'm going to jump on at Jorge. After I address these two things, I want your take as well. Eddie, if you throw in real quick in the chat who you want, I'll pick him for you. The ADP for Sleeper is screwed up. It's been screwed up for months now. I don't know when that's going to get fixed, maybe when rookie drafts start. So apologize for that. But one thing you can do to try to kind of bypass that is sort by points. It's an option. It makes things just a little bit easier. And at the end of this round, I'm going to drop it to 30 seconds because we're going a little long here. We don't want to keep our guest any longer than we promised, and all you guys that are participating with us as well. So at the end of this round, I'm going to drop it to 30-second clock for the rest of the draft. Now, Jorge, what do you feel about Caleb Williams? Where are you at on him?
I'm excited about him. I'm a little worried that there's going to be a big hype train about him because I think right now, some rankings, he's up to QB5. And that just has me. I think from a fantasy standpoint, what he's going to do for that offense is going to be great. I just worry that he's getting pushed up way too early. And I think I'd rather pass on him, get another running back or receiver, and get Trevor Lawrence like 2 rounds later. And I think I might get very similar numbers from that. But he drove a couple of my teams pretty far there, having a big playoff run. And he's so fun. And that, he gave me a heart attack in that throw against the Rams in the playoffs. Where it's like,
oh my goodness.
He runs back 35 yards and throws it 50 yards in 2-degree weather and hits the guy in the numbers. It's fantastic.
My son was watching the game with me at that point, and we literally both just said it.
Yeah.
Silence, not a word. Both of our jaws just dropped. That was insane. That's what playoff football is all about. Brett, I want to ask you about RJ Harvey because he's somebody that I wrote about in my top 200 that if the Broncos wind up signing J.K. Dobbins back, I honestly might be fading RJ Harvey. Like he had some big games thanks to his involvement in the passing game and scoring some touchdowns, but his metrics were not that great. He had 3.7 yards per carry, about 32 rushing yards per game. Both of those ranked in the 40s. His explosive run rate was in the 40s. Dobbins was top 10 yards per carry, rushing yards per game, and third overall with a 7.8 explosive run rate. So tell me why I'm wrong about RJ Harvey.
I love J.K. Dobbins. This is no hate towards J.K. Dobbins in any way. This is just me hoping that the Broncos do not re-sign him and that he takes his talent somewhere else. Right now, as it stands, RJ Harvey is a 3-down back. One of the, getting a workhorse in the 5th round, or at least the possibility of a workhorse in the 5th round is huge. And in PPR formats, I love his pass game involvement. I make it a point to try to get pass game involved running backs in PPR formats, which is why I led with Gibbs in the 1st round. Otherwise, I would have been considering, probably somebody like Genty. But, Gibbs is so involved in the Lions pass game, and Harvey is kind of Gibbs light in that way. So hopefully he becomes the feature back in Denver. I could see them drafting a running back. I could see them re-signing a veteran. Somebody like Rico Dowdle makes a lot of sense in Denver. I don't want to say that too loud, but Sean Payton might hear me, So, but yeah, this is kind of a hopium pick with RJ Harvey in the 5th.
I think that's completely fair. And although I am on the clock, Devonta Smith is a guy that honestly I would have considered where I took Flowers if I hadn't have taken A.J. Brown, because he's got a chance to, same thing, he could have some helium if A.J. Brown leaves town. Yeah. Now that it's I would have taken, honestly, I would have probably taken him over all but maybe 2 or 3 of the other guys, just personally. I mean, they're all in the same tier, so it's splitting hairs at this point. And I have to pick here. Let's see. I got 16 seconds. You know what? I guess I do have to get myself a piece of that Chicago offense. And since this is full PPR, I'll take a shot here on DeAndre Swift, because after him, it gets pretty ugly from a I guess not bell cow standpoint, but I don't know, like the workload standpoint, because all these guys, Ramondre Stevenson, he killed Henderson's value, but he proved he deserved it. Tony Pollard, we don't know what's going to happen there. Hub Chuba, we'll talk about later. I mean, there's a pretty big drop off after there.
I'm going to have a little fun right now.
Ooh.
Get a little stack going.
Ooh, I love that. And I'm on the clock.
Who are those 2 picks? Because your screen is just cut off enough for us not to be able to see those.
Terry McLaurin and Jaden Daniels. So
I love both of those.
Went with the stack. I looked at the available wide receivers, and I just thought, who can get 150 targets, if anybody? And it was only McLaurin. And I thought, you know what? Let's get his quarterback who could. Who's a guy who's young and only a year removed from rushing for 800 yards. So I love that possibility. Getting him right here at the beginning of the 6th round. I think that if he's healthy, steal. So hopefully he got his way.
What are your thoughts on the direction of the Commanders' offense with David Blau as the offensive coordinator?
You know what?
Again, it's Mr. Blau. Sorry, I had to do like 3 people got that, but I'm glad you did, Jorge.
If I've got to get my composure back. If the reports are that the guy really knows what he's doing, so I'm really excited about the possibility that he could get them going in the right direction. They got to invest a little bit more in the offensive line to protect them, but honestly, he's got a number 1 receiver, and let's see what kind of running game he gets. But I think their defense was so bad last year. Again, like what we were talking about with Jamar Chase, they could get just good enough that he's in a lot of shootouts here and there, and we love that. We love that for fantasy. I just need that dome to get built in DC sooner rather than later. So we need. There was so much bad weather there at the end of the season and in the playoffs. I'm like, man, I was so annoyed seeing, thinking of what might have been if that 2-point conversion in Seattle had gone the Rams' way instead of we might have had a parade in LA yesterday instead of Seattle.
You're right about that, and. It's I want to bring up Terry McLaurin because he's somebody who I was in on 2 years ago. I was not in on last year. And if he's going in the 5th round, I will be in on him again in 2026. And it's the point I'm trying to make is it's all about the risk. It's all about the draft cost. And I just looked it up in 2024. McLaurin's ADP was 31. Last year, his ADP was as wide receivers, not overall. So overall, he was going 73 off the board. Last year, he was wide receiver 15, 39. Where is he going to, even if he repeated the season he had previously, you're buying his ceiling. I think with a healthy Jaden Daniels, I think McLaurin is going to wind up being another steal again. And if you're able to get him as your wide receiver 3, my goodness, I will take that all day long.
Yeah, sign me up all day. I love that pick. I think I like that pick better than Rashee Rice, to tell you the truth, because
well, you've got yourself, if Rice does miss some time, you've got yourself a very solid wide receiver too, to take his place. And I had a really hard time with my 6th round pick because everything in my body, in my soul, wanted to take Kyle Pitts there because I love me some Kyle Pitts. But right now, the way things stand, doesn't have a team. We don't know where he's going to wind up. And Sam Laporta is a guy that I'm going to be drafting a whole lot of this offseason. Now, granted, it's buying into the narrative of Drew Petzing coming over as offensive coordinator. What we've seen Trey McBride do the past couple of seasons. If you guys were on the clock there, if you had to choose between Sam Laporta, Kyle Pitts, who would you go with? Brett, you're about to be on the clock, so Jorge, I'll go with you.
I'm going Laporta just because I loved what the Pitts did, but I just don't know where he's going to end up.
Let's say he winds up in a favorable situation like Kansas City.
Then I'm taking Kyle Pitts.
Yeah, yep.
I'm picking the quarterback at that point, and then
I've got this pipe dream that he winds up signing with the New York Football Giants, but you never say. I do think they wind up getting Isaiah Likely. Well, I still like Theo Johnson. I just I think that they're going to want to make a splash. And
I wouldn't have taken either of them. I would have taken Tucker Kraft and found a streaming tight end for the first few weeks of the season. I think Tucker Kraft is a top 4 tight end in the league. And if I'm going to be taking tight end at that part of the draft, kind of after that elite tier, I'm looking hard at Kraft and then kind of backfilling to take care of the first few weeks of the season.
He was so fun there at the beginning. When he was on that hot run, he was so fun, and it was so heartbreaking to see him go out like that. And I had him on a couple teams, and it was such a big difference. He was making such a big difference, and then it was such a void once he was gone.
Absolutely. I'm trying to see what Eddie needs. He's having some issues, so I was going to do the auto pick. Let's see.
I love you too, Shane.
Let's see. I guess, it doesn't. Yeah, the ADP is all jacked up. I guess I will go here with the top flex player available, which is going to be DK Metcalf.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That's a good pick for him, considering that's who's at the top of my queue. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Well,
I have a
sorry,
second.
I guess I'm trying to be fair about it. And
no. DK Metcalf makes
doing.
Perfect sense for that team, and I think that's, if I was in that position, I'd be happy because that's who I was thinking here with this pick. I think Mike McCarthy could bring out the Devontae Adams in DK Metcalf. But who knows? I mean, Aaron Rodgers is still there, and well, we think, and it's kind of an up in the air situation. But getting a talent like DK this late in the draft, I'm cool with that.
He's the clear number 1 receiver. It's a great call.
And he's one of the most freakishly athletic wide receivers in the entire league. We've seen what he can do. I love the Watson pick as well. I think he's somebody, man. If I can get him in the 6th round, I will take all those 3 picks, Harrison, Metcalf, and Watson. If you're able to get those guys there, I will be going running back all day long early in drafts because I love all 3 of those guys at value. That's a great pick by Steve. And I forgot to mention the previous turn, Adams, Josh Allen. I'm not one, I generally wait on quarterback, but Josh Allen in the 5th round, yes, please. Lamar Jackson in the 5th round, yes, please. I love those. Oh, and I didn't change the clock. I'm gonna do that right now. Since you're on you, Brett, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm frankly combing my queue, trying to figure out who I'm gonna take.
Okay, well, I don't want to do it. I'll wait. Okay. Oh yeah, it is on you. All right, you're at 30 seconds, so I will.
Am I on the clock?
You are. But
oh no.
Paused it. Now we're at 30 seconds, and you're up.
Okay. I don't have.
Oh, is that who you wanted?
No, I don't know who it took, to be honest with you.
It's got you on auto for some reason.
Oh, Michael Penix?
Can you take yourself off of auto?
No, because I'm not on the. Can you reverse that pick? I'm so sorry. I want to take Blake Corum. If you can take Blake Corum for me, that'd be wonderful.
No, I cannot because I want Blake Corum.
I want Blake Corum. Sorry about
Blake
that.
Corum. That's a great pick. As Teddy can attest to, I I'm not a Kyron Williams guy.
Yeah.
Because it is inefficiency and
The
lack
problem
of
is Sean
explosiveness.
McVay is a Kyron Williams guy. Like, that's
Exactly.
the problem. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, but I think Corum is the better running back in LA at this very moment. So whether or not he is deployed that way next year, yet to be seen. But another year, another bunch of tread on Kyron Williams' tires gone. I think that Corum could take a big step forward next year.
No, I'm with you 100%. And as we've seen, we were all pretty frustrated with some of the better running backs not getting run from a fantasy perspective. With I was, as many of you know, including you two, I was very high on Kyron Williams. Shane, don't you have, how many college teams do you have? Because I know it used to be like 6, although I'll give him credit. He did finally, let's see, let me pause that real quick. The 30-second clock will get you. Steve, if you're in the chat, throw who you want in. I'll try to back that out. Okay, he took it off. Let me take that off there.
Steve says he's...
Okay. Yeah, go for it. And if you need, if it does it again, you need me to switch it to somebody, let me know.
It says I'm here, so.
I thought I set it to not draft. Let's see. Move player. Let me pause this. Pause the draft. Let's remove the guy. Steve, who do you want? And I'll just change it to make it easy. And Brett, go ahead and take yourself off of auto.
Oh, am I still on auto? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I don't like about doing mocks with.
Gotcha. Okay.
Let's see.
Parker Washington going on the turn here is extremely interesting. Having him go as the second Jacksonville wide receiver off the board, I think, is a testament to his end of season ascension. Obviously, Travis Hunter with the ACL was unfortunate, and he probably won't be back to start the season. But at some point, you have to think that Hunter will pass Washington and maybe even Brian Thomas Jr. On the depth chart.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
I do like Parker Washington a lot, and I also like Jacoby Myers a lot. And I still haven't given up on Brian Thomas Jr. And honestly, it's between those three. It's one of those situations I will probably wind up drafting whoever the cheapest is, and that's just.
It's kind of wild that the Jaguars wide receiver 1 was the third Jaguar receiver off the board.
But Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't gone yet.
Oh no, he went in the second round.
Yeah, he went way early.
That may have been an accident that we didn't catch. I don't know, but still.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, that was Eddie was having some issues. So
Jacoby Myers going in the 7th round. That's some really nice value. Another testament to the depth of wide receiver.
Yeah, absolutely.
And man, he had such a mind meld with Trevor Lawrence almost automatically.
Yeah.
God, it was so good. So fun to watch that.
That one, I think it was like the second game where Lawrence just threw it on the outside and Jacoby almost just like stopped moving and just fell, and it was gorgeous. I loved it. I'm excited for him there. And I want to say, Eddie, I do love the Wan'Dale Robinson pick there as well.
There goes Penix again.
Oh.
Just messing with people at this point.
Yeah, and I thought I turned off. Let's see. Pause draft. Draft settings. Maybe, I guess when I changed it to 30 seconds, it automatically set auto pick.
Gotcha.
I will take that off. Apologize about that, guys.
All good.
First draft, so we're gonna have some hiccups here. Jeff, it looks like you're here, so I'm gonna go ahead and restart this. But as I was talking about Eddie's pick of Wan'Dale Robinson, I really like that. There's a chance, and I believe it was Teddy that I was talking to. We went to lunch this weekend, and there's some talk. Actually, it wasn't Teddy. It was one of my other friends who's a Titans fan, and that's why there's been some talks of Wan'Dale Robinson reuniting with Brian Dable in Tennessee. I really like that for Cam Ward Granted, it's all
I really like
all
that for
season
Wan'Dale
talk.
Robinson.
I do too. I think that, man, if that winds up being the case, there could be some people that are down on him. I will gladly take that. And I think I am up to pick.
Oh man, run on quarterbacks, huh?
Yes. I mean, I get it because there's not much left.
And
right
Drake
here.
May going as the fourth quarterback off the board is, it's something.
Guys, I'm doing it.
Somebody
I'm doing
did.
it.
Whoa, let's see.
I'm doing it. I don't care. Oh, I'm blocked it.
I was gonna say, what'd you do, Jay? Oh no,
Mason.
Oh,
not
yes.
again.
Yeah, I'm right back in. He's just too good. I just dropped a YouTube short on our YouTube channel about him yesterday. His underlying metrics were so good. He's like I said in the short, I'm not making excuses. He definitely did not perform when he had the opportunity when Aaron Jones went on the IR. But I mean, who performed for Minnesota last year? So I'm willing to give him a mulligan and take a shot. 7th round. If this were, I probably still would take him there. I was gonna say if this was an actual draft, would I still do that? Yes,
Bench running back, to be on your bench. Jeez, yes, please.
Let's see. I think this is the time that I will go Joe Burrow. I think he's going to go on a revenge tour, especially the way that he ended last season. I will gladly take him in the 8th round.
He could easily, he's one of the guys that is going outside of the top 5 in some places, at least here, that could be the number 1 quarterback in the league.
Yep. People are afraid because he's not a Konami code quarterback that runs, but as Jorge, as you've said, as Brett, as you've said, that offense is awful, and he has the firepower, he has the weapons to be able to make up for that with as much as they're going to throw the ball.
You could get 17 games out of him. You can write him down for 4,500 yards and 35 touchdowns. That's his floor. And he could have one of those years where he goes over 40 touchdowns and hits 5,000 yards. It's very, very possible that could happen. And you get that in the 8th round. Oh, yeah. That's why I'm like, I love getting Jaden Daniels when I did, but man, I love that pick. That's one of my favorite picks already.
Well, thank you,
man.
I appreciate that.
I think at this point, after 8, 9 quarterbacks off the board, I'm just going to wait until the last round because it's not going to make a difference at this point. Right. I really like Trevor Lawrence. I might have taken him here on the 8-9 turn had he fallen, but at this point, it's just kind of pick a name out of a hat from the remainder.
If Burrow wasn't there, I would have done the exact same thing, and that's what I was doing. I was looking through the names and like, okay, is there anybody that really stands out? And he did. I love me some Joe Burrow. Another name I want to give Dan a shout out, that Rico Dowdle pick at 8. We saw what Rico Dowdle is capable of when he gets a full workload. Granted, he's a free agent, so we don't know where he's going to wind up. So if he's in a favorable situation, he's not making it to the 8th round. There's a chance he could wind back up in Carolina. Who knows? Jorge, how do you feel about Rico Dowdle? Are you buying back in if he winds up in a favorable situation?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think that those back-to-back 200-yard games are any kind of fluke. I mean, he's got great talent, but get him into an offense with a good old line and a decent quarterback. Yes. And he's been fairly healthy. It's not, the year with Dallas and then last year again, let's go.
He's still fairly young. Good in Dallas last year. He had Zeke stole some touchdowns and would have kept him from being, ranking inside the teens. Brett, I have to give you some credit, my friend. I like both of those picks. Your 8-9, kind of the turn. I like all 4 of those picks, honestly. Pierce, Pittman, Marks, and Higgins. You and I have talked a little bit about a second-year breakout for Jaden Higgins in Houston. Tell me why you're so high on him.
I really like Jaden Higgins just in the way that he has kind of ascended in that wide receiver core. I think that you could see it, especially when Nico Collins was out with injury, like the 1.5 games that he missed. Higgins was, in my opinion, the clear wide receiver one from a skill standpoint. I'd have to go back and look at the box scores to see if it actually shone through. But he can separate. He can, he's a big guy who can pull in, large catch radius. I think that he has the makings of like a Nico Collins 2.0. I think in that offense, he could be really special, have a second-year breakout like we've seen so many wide receivers do.
And I got to give a shout out to my tag team partner, Mr. Ladarius, because 3 of his last 4 picks, Monangai, Algier, and Gainwell, I feel like those are guys that are, if you can get them around here, they are going to return some fantastic value, especially, Algier could find himself in a starting, maybe not a bell cow role, but in a starting role. And we've seen he can produce. Gainwell, I mean, he was the passing game work that he put up this year in an anemic passing offense. It was a thing of beauty, and I am back on the clock. So far out of these last couple of rounds, Jorge, is there any pick that really stands out to you?
Well, I love the quarterback run that we had there. That was pretty fantastic. Dowdle was another one, but the interesting one is Tyjae Spears. Could he be a bell cow running back if all of a sudden, Tony Pollard ends up somewhere else? So
I was going to say Tony Pollard's still on the board.
Yeah, though I
probably stay there too.
I went Montgomery and let's see, Chris Godwin. I'm gonna be right on him this year, not last year. Far enough away from the injury, but
yeah.
And David Njoku, where does he end up? And does Travis Kelce come back and play? That I think that it's sounding like he wants to come back and play, and I think that'd be kind of fun.
I think he comes back. I've heard some rumors of that's another name, Njoku, I've heard in Kansas City if he does not. And I got to say, I am not a fan of my wide receivers. There was just never a name that felt right to click draft when they were there. And I'm not happy, honestly. But I look like, I know I probably went a little early on Mason, but I don't see a name wide receiver that I would have taken over him. Laporta, yeah, that's probably where, if I could redo it, I think the 6th round, I should have taken a Harrison, Metcalf, Watson.
Jonathan Brooks, Dan, great pick, buddy.
I was waiting for you to get to him. Let's hear it. You and I have another name you've talked about with me. You're high on Jonathan Brooks.
I mean, that's my trademark last round of the draft pick so far in mocks this year. I think that he could come back and immediately supplant Chuba as the number 1 running back in Carolina. He was uber talented coming out of college a couple years ago, fell off the map with injuries. And from all reports that I've read, and granted it was like 2 of them, he's coming back healthy. He's going to have a normal offseason. He's going to be ready to roll for 2026. So he's a guy who I think will fly up draft boards as soon as we see him active in camp. And could be someone who ends up going in like the 6th, 7th round with like the Manung guys and, the Trey Bensons where Chuba's going right now.
Yeah. I mean, he was the first running back off the board in the 2024 draft, and he looked good in what? I mean, did he get a game in? Maybe 2 games? He looked good when he was there. Brett, that's so poetic.
I think it was only 2 or 3 games, and then he was out.
Yeah. I love that though. Like Caleb Williams in the 10th round. It's the second.
It's unbelievable. Pick. Unbelievable that Caleb Williams is going 2 rounds after Jackson Dart. Like no shade to Jackson Dart, but Caleb Williams going 2 rounds later. Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Wow. No, and earlier I had said that that Caleb Williams was going to go 2 rounds before Trevor Lawrence, but it was flipped around in this one. That's utterly amazing.
I blame Sleeper's ADP. Williams is buried in Sleeper's ADP. I think if the ADP had been normal, we would have seen Caleb Williams go up around the Justin Herberts and Lawrences, like you said.
Well, next one we do with these, we'll look for another platform to do it and see how it compares. We're going to be doing these all off season every few weeks. We're going to be doing live streaming, bringing on guests. It'll be Brett and I and a guest from somewhere around the fantasy football world. And before we get out of here, I gotta say, every time I do a 1 QB mock, it just shows me why I wait on quarterback. I mean, the last 3 rounds, Dart, Prescott, Lawrence, Herbert, Burrow. I mean, even before the round before that, May, Hurts, Caleb Williams, and there's still, I mean, you're not even talking about any rookies. You still got Bo Nix, who's serviceable, Jared Goff, who's serviceable. Like, there's no like 5th round. Honestly, everybody here that drafted didn't do that bad of a job, because getting Allen and Lamar in the 5th round, that's not bad. Like that is an edge, but I would prefer to take shots on skill position players there and go with, see what kind of quarterback I can scrounge up in the later rounds.
Yeah, I think one of my favorite strategies is to kind of look at quarterbacks who are going in in the early double digits and grab 2 and see if I can kind of like play with their schedules a little bit, going back and forth. I used to do that a lot with Jared Goff to try and make sure that I was getting him playing at home, and it was a lot of fun doing that. Really, really fun strategy doing with that. I may be doing it again this year.
I tend to do something similar with a little bit of a twist. I like to wait, grab 2, and grab a steady Eddie guy like Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford, a Dak Prescott, and pair him with an upside guy like the Caleb Williams, like the Jackson Dart. Well, I guess I don't know if you really call Caleb Williams an upside guy at this point, but you guys get what I'm saying. The Mendozas, pair them with, okay, if they hit, man, you got yourself an edge. But if they don't, you're not bad with, one of these really solid quarterbacks.
You were talking about Matthew Stafford didn't go MVP of the league,
right.
46 touchdown passes, 4,700 yards.
If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's why you wait on quarterback.
Yeah.
But I got to say, thank you, everybody who participated with us. We had a few hiccups, but we expected it with the first go around. We're going to be doing these all off season long. We'll probably sprinkle in maybe 1 or 2 super flex, but we like to go with 1 quarterback because that's where the majority of people play these days. Jorge, my friend, my hermano, I appreciate you. Our first guest, I would not want to have anybody else other than you. Give the audience a quick rundown of what you're working on, where they can find you, and then we'll head over to Brett.
Well, please subscribe to our newsletter. We're going to have great off-season content. We're going to have great NFL draft content. Just go to fantasylife.com and then just go to the newsletter tab, and then you just put your email address and you'll start getting it immediately. Go to our content. Like I said, we got NFL draft content. We're going through all 32 teams' team needs right now, and having a blast. We're 24/7, 365. We got football coming at you. So that's why I love to be here, my friend. Anytime. And I feel like I just made a new friend with Brett tonight. So muchas gracias. Thank you.
He's gonna do good people and good people. So Brett, tell everybody what you're working on and where they can find you.
Absolutely. Jorge, it was an extreme pleasure to work with you. Great to meet you. Looking forward to subscribing to the Fantasy Life newsletter. Folks can find me at Fade That Man on Twitter. I'm very active in the QBL and PL Discords. I'll be working this spring with Scott Chu on Pitcherless Hacks and Jacks podcast. Listen to us there. Make sure to check out YouTube for QB List as well as Pitcher List. Check out both networks. Putting out a lot of great content. Multimedia content is expanding, and really excited to be a part of this community. One of the best in the fantasy football world. So really grateful for everything that we've put together here. Nick, Jay, all the, Christian, Miles, all the guys who have put us in a position to succeed. I think we're going to continue doing that.
Absolutely. And you couldn't have said it any better. I've been a part of QB List for a little less than a year, but I absolutely love it. Everybody is phenomenal. The community, everybody that works with us. And we, like you said, the YouTube channel for QB List is still in its infancy. There's not a whole lot on there yet, but that is a huge focus for us this offseason. So if you're not already subscribed, there's going to be a ton this offseason to keep an eye out. I am lead analyst over at QB List. I've already got some, like I said earlier, way too early ranks. This is now our second mock. Going to be putting out a bunch of video content, and we've got some. I'm not gonna give. Maybe I'll give a little bit of a hint. I've got some really cool research piece that I'm working on this off season that's going to come out. That you know what? I'm just going to leave it there.
There you go.
Can find me on X at GMenJ. You can find Brett on X at, which I say this every time, I think it's the best handle on Twitter. Fade that man. It's just something about it. And Jorge, you are Jorge Martin 17? Is that
That's right? You got it.
There we go. All right. I appreciate everybody. Have a good night, and we will see you on another time.